Today, we are talking about should you upgrade to an EC or a condominium, right? There's some differences,
Yep.
right? And we'll be discussing these differences today with Bryan Yee,
Yes.
who is our guest today.
Hi.
So very happy to have Bryan with us. Bryan has assisted a lot of HDB upgraders to go into ECs or condos.
That's right.
Right? And
Yep.
everybody's circumstances and situations are different, you know. So it really depends on what your personal predicament is like. And we do advise that you seek an expert's help, someone such as Bryan, to help you with your journey. Because I think, if I'm not wrong, in a property journey,
Yep.
the most crucial step is what you do after your first property.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. Usually people in Singapore, typically we start with our HDB, usually BTO or resale HDB. Then after that, what's next? Yeah.
Yeah. And it really could, like, you can make or break it.
Yeah.
in
You
some
can.
sense, right?
You can.
Yeah. So you really have to make the right decision. So we'll be guiding you as to what you should do, you know, in terms of Bryan will also be sharing some case studies.
Yep.
Right? So examples that you may or may not be able to relate to, right? So if you have your own very unique circumstance, you can reach out to us or Bryan, and we'll be able to assist you.
Yep.
Okay. So today, this is the agenda of tonight's webinar. We will be looking at market trends, you know, so you can assess your position as a HDB owner currently, okay? And we'll compare EC and condos, all the eligibility, financial eligibility as well, and also dissecting, you know, the differences between EC and condos. What is the difference in terms of location, lifestyle, and then we also break down the long-term potential, okay, with between these two. So let's look at the HDB resale price index.
Yes. As you can see, HDB resale price index right now is at an all-time high in quarter 3, 2025. Yeah, so as I was talking to Felicia, you know, how HDB is always trying to keep our prices affordable. So you can see back in 2005,
Yeah,
I think, 5 all the way to 2008, you know, price curve is pretty flat. And of course, usually due to a supply and demand in equilibrium, then we will cause the price to shoot up, you know, back in 2008, all the way to 2013, you know. Many of our friends may have been buying houses with high COV at that point. You know, government came out with a slew of measures. And of course, first is a lot of building activity back in the late 2000s, so that as they build more flats are going to MOP or TOP within the next few years. So in 2013, prices started to drop until 2020, which COVID happens, as all of you may know. So of course, COVID also caused a supply and demand inequilibrium because construction actually stopped. Now, if you are a buyer in the market today, you can either buy two things, new or resale. So since the new ones stop building, everybody goes to resale.
Which is why there's a surge, right, in the price.
Yeah.
So I think we all know that, right? You know, like we have seen all the articles, all the news that is coming up, you know, all the record-breaking prices.
Yeah.
Partly because of lower supply of new flats.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so just looking at mature and non-mature estates.
Yep.
Right. So just a quick one. Mature estate estates would be the pink line, and non-mature estates is the blue line on top.
Yep.
Right. So if you look at our June flash report, 99.co June flash report, prices in both mature and non-mature estates have risen equally.
Yep.
You know, so it kind of suggests some sort of sustained demand across the board. It doesn't really matter if you are mature or non-mature, but the price appreciation is about the same.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, the past 15 years for HDB, just for you to take a look at the overall market to understand better where are you in the right time to sell also, right? So if you can see, there's a huge surge during the post-COVID period. And then now 2025, we are still kind of increasing.
Still increasing?
It's still increasing. But it might not be increasing at such a stuck pace.
Yes.
Yeah, but prices are still going up, and we'll explain why also later.
We will.
Okay, so let's talk about $1 million flats for just a minute. Okay, so definitely we have seen a lot of news articles, partly generated by us as well, because we always try to publish first with regards to like record-breaking flats. So why do we do that? It's also because it's worthy to know, like the estate that you are living in, how fast do your flats appreciate such that it can kind of hit or exceed $1 million. Now we are looking at exceeding, right?
Yeah,
I think 1.2 million is somewhat the new
new
high.
new norm in the very new mature estate like your Boon Keng, your Whampoa area.
So if you can see in June, it has eased a bit slightly, right? But we can see a surge from March to April. There was a huge jump. But overall, you can see in 2025, we have quite a number of $1 million flats already, and we are expecting more. So if you want to know if you're sitting on a $1 million HDB, do scan the property value tool later. I will flash the QR code to you again, just to know where are you at, right? Okay, so this is a QR code. You can take a second to scan it, and it takes under a minute to check your property value. All you need to do is put in your postal code and your unit number, and everything else is generated for you. So over here, this table, what do you see? It's actually the median prices for some of the towns in Singapore. So once you check your property value, right, you can compare it against the median. Are you below the median or above the median? Yeah, I think it's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely very, very important to know where your flat is. Your flat and your neighbor blocks may be a different price because of the age, because of the size, because of the layout.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so next. Okay, so over here, we're talking about there's a huge supply of HDB flats coming up in 2026 to 2027, right? The government has planned to already build flats even faster. You have seen the news, right? Today they just released
4 months kind of flat. Because
so
in 2.5 years.
Yeah, correct. So, they know that there is a lack of supply and they are trying to keep up with demand. So there will definitely be a surge in supply in the coming years. So let's look at this table. In 2025, this year, there will be almost 20K flats that are being released. But in the upcoming, they're going to release more. This is the number that we know now. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, once there are more supply in the market, there is also higher competition, right, Bryan? Yeah.
Because all these flats eventually will become the newly MOP flats. So let's say they built in 2021, they've likely TOP in 25, 26, 27, and then of course you need to stay minimum of 5 years. So in the late 2020s, you will see a lot of MOP flats coming up.
Yeah. So, if you are thinking of upgrading, I would say that the right time is kind of between now and then, So you do have a number of years to consider, honestly. But let's look at this MOP flats. So just now was BTO launches, right? So the number of MOP flats that have MOP between 2019 to 2022 is a bit high.
Yes.
And then after that, you had a fall.
Especially this year, one of the lowest you can, under 10,000 MOP flats. So it will be very hard to find any really brand new MOP flats. Of course, it will just keep going up because the preceding few years we have been building and building. So they will MOP in the next few years. So this is one of the lowest MOP year.
And buyer behavior is such that they do want to look at newer flats. Also, right? If I can buy a newer flat, why not?
If I were to choose a 5-year-old and a 20-year-old, 5-year-old is always I will always choose the 5-year-old. Assuming price is the same now.
Definitely. Yeah. So this year is a pretty good time, I would say, because competition is generally quite low. So this is just just looking at data and what you can infer from that. Yeah. So you can see in 2027 there's going to be a surge in the number of MOP flats. Yeah. So we are going back up to like the
2020s, 21 era.
All right, so we did explain a little bit, right? So in 2021, 2023, there was some increase in demand prices for flats. So there are a lot of newer flats with longer lease and also good conditions. So that's where you also see like a lot of MOP flats being sold in the market. Yeah. So beyond 2025, as mentioned, you do expect higher MOP BTO that has MOP kind of supply. So resale prices more or less might stabilize.
We do not have a crystal ball. Of course, just using stats that Nine have generated. As you can see, we have more flats being built. More flats being built means more flats will MOP in the coming years. So when the MOP in the coming years, higher competition, the prices may not increase like what we have seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and if you remember our graph earlier, there was a plateau also in the
Yes.
HDB resale prices.
Yep.
So the government did achieve that, right?
Yep.
They have achieved stabilizing the prices of HDBs. So we might or might not get there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course, I believe what the government, the slogan is always build affordable housing. So their aim is to keep HDB prices affordable.
The private property market, right? So private property prices, the growth has continued to slow. It's a very interesting phrase, right? Continue to slow.
Still growing.
It is slowing down a little bit in terms of the growth, right? We are really starting to see that, right? Market is cooling a little bit. Even the government just launched a new SSD rate. I mean, they reverted back to the 2017, where you have to wait additional year.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah, before you can flip your new property.
Yep.
Okay. So this tells us that there might be a bit of lesser competition. What does this mean? It means like it's a buyer's market. Yeah, you can have more options.
You can choose, you can see more before you decide.
Yeah, the market's not moving as fast. So if you want to sell your HDB flat and you want to buy a condo, I would say that
this is one of the times where, unlike in COVID period, when you want to inquire listing, it's sold. But right now, there are more available listings in the market for you to actually go and see and take your time before you commit.
Yeah. So Bryan, will you say that now is like a seller's market for HDB, but a buyer's market for condo?
Seller's market, I wouldn't say so, because to be honest, if you talk to many of the agents on the market, HDB used to take, during the pandemic, 1, 2, 3 weeks to sell. Today, some HDB may take up to 2 to 3 months. For decent HDB, I'm talking about very, very low lease, very remaining lease one. So I will say that I personally feel it's in a deadlock for HDB between buyer and seller. However, for private condominium, definitely it's a buyer's market for most of the condominium right now.
Yeah, that's what we see also. So if you look at the current private property market in terms of the price index, so Bryan, what do you think this graph is trying to tell us? So there's a surge. It's quite similar.
Yep.
It's quite similar.
So it's very similar. Private property in the last, especially 2020 up till today, we went through the COVID pandemic. Prices went up because of supply, much lesser supply during the COVID period. So of course, everybody went in and buy, especially the bigger units. If you are holding on to a 3, 4, 5 bedrooms during the 2020 period, you will see your profits actually surge, especially those of a bigger square footage. Whether is it older or newer, of course, they all grow in a different speed. But of course, you will see a lot of the big square footage private property went up quite a bit.
Yeah, even for HDBs, we did see that trend also. Executive flats and 5-room flats were going at a much bigger pace in terms of price and also volume.
And that's why they came up with the cooling measure. Once for 55-year-old and under, if you want to sell your private on a downgrade to a 5-room EAEM, you have to wait for 15 months. So they saw that happening.
So I mean, we can also see when you want to buy a new house now, in terms of the loan, the interest rates have also declined.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in terms of affordability or so, I think this is a pretty good. The people are looking. That's why it's a bit of a buyer's market, right?
Correct. Because right now, SORA, I just checked before I came here, 3-month SORA, 1.94%. And some local banks are even giving you 0 spread. It means your first year spread is 0% plus the 3-month SORA. Wow, I myself am going to look into the property market as well. So this is really, really interesting.
Okay, so I mean, you can see this is an overview of the SORA rate.
Yeah.
So you can see that it really did decline.
Yeah, it's just like
quite a bit.
Quite a lot.
So I don't know whether it's going to decline more.
I mean, this is based on June. So currently it's 1.94 for 3-month SORA, probably less than 1.7 for 1-month SORA. So likely the rates should be under 2 for quite some time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're thinking to yourself, when is a good time to upgrade, right? You also need to consider these factors.
Absolutely.
definitely you need to have sufficient funds. That's why I keep asking you to check your property value so you can calculate. If you're aspiring for a condo that is like a 3-bedder,
Yep.
that is maybe around 2 million or
Yep.
so, then you need to know if you sell your HDB at this price of which is the price that is valued at, how much cash can you get?
Yeah. So I got a quick hack for you. So basically how I calculate is when you want to sell HDB, always look at of course, the recent transaction price minus your loan, and of course minus your relevant fees like agent fee. You take this amount, you divide by 0.3. This is very fast. You know what you can actually afford. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Later you tell me the formula.
Yeah, I'll tell you the formula later.
Okay, so EC versus condo, right? This is what we're here for. So very simple, right? Private condominium, it's a private property from day one. There is like no caveats, you know. So it's available for anyone to buy, whether you are a Singapore citizen, a permanent resident, or a foreigner. No MOP restrictions also. Yeah. So pretty much free reign, right? So for private condos, you have freehold and leasehold. So this is rather basic, but for those who are quite new to the property market, I'll just very quickly share with you, right? So freehold, you've heard of this term before, you can own it forever, okay? And it's usually it's a premium price because
like
it's free.
if they build side by side
Yeah.
and similar size, similar attributes, a freehold and leasehold do have a freehold. Of course, will have a slight premium over the leasehold.
Yeah. So if you're thinking, last time my parents always say, hey, I want to go, we should buy freehold, buy freehold. But then now you're kind of hearing something different, right? Because like, hey, actually, does it make sense for me to buy freehold right now with a higher entry price? Or should I go for a 99 list with a lower entry price compared to the freehold option?
Actually, all depends on your objective, I would say.
Yeah. So for 99 leasehold, obviously it's slightly more affordable than the freehold. But the value will drop with age, right? Because it's 99 year and there'll be lease decay. So you also need to think, hey, what is your plan next time? Right?
So the lease decay is usually the reason of the lease decay, I feel, is of course ties into the loan and CPF usage. Because if the lower the lease, then maybe your age plus the remaining lease is not more than 95, you cannot use all your 100% of CPF to the valuation limit of the house. So that's people cannot use. Imagine you got so much CPF, but you cannot use your CPF to pay for your house. So that's why practically leasehold, as they decay, the prices will fall.
Right. Okay, so ECs, right? So also pretty it's not similar, but there's this caveat where it is only a private property when it reaches 10 year, the 10-year mark.
Fully privatized.
Fully privatized. But the developers are the private developers.
Yes.
And it's also marketed like a private property when at the time of
hybrid.
But it's actually subsidized housing. And because it's subsidized housing, there is some caveats, right? So there's an MOP of 5 years.
Yes.
So after 5 years, you can only sell it to Singaporeans or PRs.
Singaporean and don't have to be married.
Oh, yeah, correct. But after 10 years, then you can start selling to foreigners.
Foreigners as well,
So that is the key difference.
And of course, income restriction. I think that is the major thing.
Definitely. That's a major thing. Yeah, so I think the income now for EC is 16, right?
16,000.
Even for resale.
No.
When
right? You go to when you hit the 5 years, even if you earn $1 million a month, you can buy.
So when you are buying a new launch EC, there's a cap, 16K household income.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the 10-year EC timeline, right? So why is it -3? Is because it haven't built yet.
When you walk into the showroom, very beautiful. That is the negative period because it takes about on average 3 to 4 years to build.
Yeah. So from this -3 year to the 0 year when it's still P, okay, you purchase from developer, blah blah, and then from within the 5 years that you are living in your flat, there's an MOP. You cannot sell and you cannot rent out.
You can only rent 1 room or 2 rooms.
Yeah, it's very similar to HDB rooms.
Yep.
Okay, you cannot sell, but only after you reach your 5-year MOP. That means after your 5-year MOP, from year 6 to 10, then it's semi-privatized, where your MOP is over and you can sell it to the open market, as we mentioned, right? But only to Singapore citizens and PRs.
Yes.
So you need to think, like if you want to go into an EC, and you have this idea that you want to flip it after 5 years, you also need to think, hey, will my buyer pool be limited? Yeah.
I think generally still have enough buyer pool. So I just want to add on to year 6 to year 10. I did encounter this situation where a Singaporean married a foreigner. They want to put 2 names in the EC. Can buy or cannot buy? Answer is cannot, because with a foreigner name inside the EC, there's 6 to 10 years cannot buy. So no choice. This client got to buy a private condominium.
Right. So yeah, there's that restriction also.
The restrictions.
Because your nucleus also have to be fully
PR. 2 PR can buy, 1 Singapore, 1 foreigner cannot buy. 6 to 10 years.
Okay, so let's talk about the key eligibility and the restrictions, right? So I think we mentioned for EC eligibility, at least one Singaporean must be, at least one buyer must be Singapore citizen. Yeah,
and the other also must be minimum a PR.
Yeah, correct. In order to buy a new EC.
Yeah.
Okay, so as mentioned, your monthly household income cannot exceed 16K. So actually for this, right, I just want to ask you, Bryan, now the ECs, the prices, I think Auto Place or something, it's like 1.8 million.
Starting at the lowest is 1.389 if I'm not wrong. So 16K. So an average 35-year-old, don't say older, 35-year-old want to earn 16K a month as an employed, not even self-employed, employed. Your maximum loan based on MSR is 1.005 million. So if you want to buy 2 million, it's either you have a lot of cash to unpledge, or you have, parent support grant, your parents support you, or somebody support you.
You need to find a way to get the cash.
Yeah. So this is generally the tougher sentiments on the ground.
Yeah. So I think like here, see on the ground, like, oh, if you can afford EC now, you come from which family?
Yeah, agree. Either you have a lot of cash or your bonus super high. Your bonus, your bonus not included in the 16K one, very high.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to be eligible for EC, you must not own another property. It's very similar to HDB. Yeah, and HDB upgraders, you must sell your existing flat within 6 months of the EC TOP. So right now, if you're living in a HDB and you want to purchase an EC, a new EC, you can wait, right? 3 years until it's built.
Means you can still stay in your HDB. You take extra cash, go and buy your EC. Usually we use deferred payment. And then after that, when it's going to TOP, your EC is going to TOP, then you sell your HDB.
Yeah. So you can wait until like 6 months, but you need to make sure you can sell.
Yeah.
Okay, so private condo, pretty much very open, like as we mentioned. Household income, there's no maximum limit as well. You can go and buy like a 30 million condo, right? But it doesn't matter. Condos are the free market. And no family nucleus is required like the HDB or EC, okay? So also no property. So if you own one property already, that means a private property, not a HDB, you can buy another one, but of course subject to ABSD.
Yep.
Okay, so let's look at price trends.
Okay.
All right. So average price comparison, this is just a very surface comparison between EC and condo over 15 years. Okay. So I know the graph is a bit messy for you to see, but let me just direct you. If you look at the blue, orange color line on top, that's the condo price. In terms of quantum, right? The average price quantum is definitely higher than the average price quantum of EC.
That's right.
That's because we are comparing with the whole of private condos in Singapore. You got luxury condos, you got condos in mass market, mid market as well. So, but generally their prices are higher, and you can see the EC sits below because it's supposed to be more affordable, targeting the more like upper middle income group of people. Yeah. So I think a lot of Singaporeans do also want to, purchase within their budget, which is why the government launched the concept of executive condominiums in 1995. Yeah. So as you can see, the quantum itself over the past 15 years, condos have increased about 48.96%, okay? And ECs increased by over 100%. Wow. But that's also because, EC's entry price is technically lower, okay? So let's look at PSF comparison, okay? Even for PSF comparison, the condos are definitely higher, but increased over the 15 years about 82%. And you see EC PSF prices have increased by about 139% over 15 years. So we know that in terms of resales, because these are actually resales, okay, people are able to sell it at a price that has appreciated a little bit faster. Yeah.
Because of no more restriction, no more income restriction. That is the main thing.
Correct. So let's look at District 19, comparing an EC and a condo in this district.
Yeah.
Okay, so over here we are looking at Asperina, right?
Aspirina.
Asperina Residences, which is an EC,
Yeah.
and the Quartz,
Yeah.
which is a condo. Okay, so the Quartz, Bryan, you mentioned that it was launched back in 2006.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah,
mid-2000s.
yeah. So it probably TOP around this time,
Yes.
probably. Okay, and you can see that the prices last time was higher than Asperina.
Yep, when
Asperina launched.
Yeah, because of course, during Asperina launch, some of you may know, the EC income ceiling was only $12,000
for EC last
for
time.
EC during the 2013 period. Okay, so you can see the condo is higher than EC during the EC's launch. There was a shift in the 2017 and 2018 when Asperina started to MOP. So meaning the buyer that in the past not eligible to buy Asperina but love Asperina can come in and buy in the resale market. And because these people once the restriction is off, they can sell at the market price. So that's why Asperina's price went up so much that it overtook Quartz. Because firstly, I think Asperina is very new, 5 years old at that point, 1718, and compared to Quartz that time, maybe 10 years old condo. So 10 versus 5-year-old condo, generally we will prefer something newer. The terminology of EC and condo might not be so important.
Then of course when we see during the post-COVID period,
Yeah.
both of them surge.
Yep.
But Asperina, continue to surge over Quartz.
They are consistently over Quartz. But of course, this is my area. I know this place very well. One of the things is because Asperina has one of the best layouts you can find in the market as well.
Right.
Yeah, very generous size bedrooms, master bedrooms. Quartz is not too bad, but of course, Quartz is in the olden period where they have ultra long bay window and stuff, but doesn't matter, the size is still beautiful. That's why it's still growing up to today.
It's still growing actually. Even for such a relatively old, 20 years, almost 20 years.
Lease is about 20 years. The age of the condo maybe 15 to 16.
Yeah. So you know that if you enter even a private condo now, somewhat the investment potential is there if you're able to choose the correct project.
Right entry. Correct project, entry price.
Okay, so let's look at financing, right? EC versus condo. We briefly touched it just now, but this is about the loan, and things that you should think about, right? So for EC and condo, you can only loan 75% of your purchase price.
Yep.
And also in terms of the MSR,
mortgage servicing ratio. Yeah.
Okay, so your mortgage payment also cannot exceed 30% of your gross monthly income. That is one of the caveats for EC.
Yep.
Yeah, so very similar to HDB.
Yep.
It's the same, is it?
It's the same.
Yeah,
same. Just that HDB, your max loan is 25 years loan tenure, but EC can go up to 30 years.
Right. But condos, of course, doesn't apply. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And also for the TDSR, the total debt servicing ratio, your monthly debt obligations, including your car loan, personal loans, credit card debt, cannot exceed 55% of your gross monthly income.
Yep.
Yeah. And it actually applies for condo as well.
Yes, it applies for all.
Basically, the bank need to make sure that you can pay back.
Yeah, make sure that you don't overstretch or over-leverage yourself.
Okay, so resale levy,
Yep.
right? Let's talk about this because a lot of HDB upgraders, they have enjoyed some subsidies in the past from purchasing your first HDB.
Yep.
And then now you want to purchase an EC, which is also a subsidized housing.
It's like strike lottery 2 times like that.
So tell us more a bit about the resale levy. Like, how does it work when you want to upgrade from HDB to EC and HDB to condo?
So we talk about post 2006 when you sell a HDB because prior to 2006, your resale levy is a percentage of your sale price or the 90% of a valuation. It's very high. So right now, if you own, let's for example, say you own a 4-room flat that you bought in the resale market with grants, or you bought a BTO 4-room flat, you've taken a grant, and you want to buy an EC, your resale levy will be 40,000. 55,000 is for the biggest one, which is you buy an EC before and you want to buy another EC. But of course, now you've got a lot of restriction. You need to wait out the 30 months and then make sure your income is still within 16K. So usually EC to EC is very tough. Like you own an EC, you sell your EC, then you want to buy another EC. That one 55K.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But generally people just upgrade from HDB to EC much more straightforward.
So of course it depends on the amount, right?
Yeah.
They'll know the levy that they have to pay.
Yeah, so it depends on the flat. So in a nutshell, very simple. 3-room flat 30,000, 4-room flat 40,000, 5-room flat 45, EAEM should be 50,000.
Ballpark amount lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at CPF housing grant for ECs because it's still sold like public housing technically, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely get the family grant up to 30K for if you're a first timer family with an income ceiling of 12K lah. Yeah. So then you can see the tiers over here. So if you are about anything below 12K, you get up to
30K. So if you earn under 10K, you get the max lah. But of course, the other side will be, wow, how are you going to get your loan? Yeah. So it's either very cash rich, you got parent support grant. Yeah, that one will help.
So I think most people fall under nil.
Yeah, most of the people that I've came across, they are between 10 to 16 lah. Under 10K, very seldom I see any. Yeah.
So, okay, let's look at CPF housing grants for EC, the half housing grant, right? It's for first-timer Singapore citizens whose maybe your spouse is a second-timer.
Yeah.
So he or she has previously received a housing subsidy, but you are first-timer.
Yeah, then you
right?
still can.
So it's called a half housing grant.
Yeah.
You don't get the full first-timer if both of you are first-timers.
Yeah.
Correct. So over here, if you can see the tiers, if your income is capped at about 12K, you get at least 5,000 lah.
Yep.
Yeah, but of course, then again, you get more if it's below 10K.
Yep.
Okay. So this is called the citizen top-up. Yeah. So if you're an eligible Singapore citizen or PR, so this is what happens when the PR becomes a citizen. Then you can apply for the citizen top-up of 10K.
Yep.
When one of your PR
SPR becomes an SC.
citizen.
Yeah. Or another one is when you give birth to a child, Singapore citizen child. Also can. So pro birth and pro citizenship.
I would say the government very fair.
Yeah.
They still can wait for you to turn into a citizen.
Yeah.
Still give you the grant.
Correct.
Okay, so this is estimated monthly income. You need to know that you can aspire or you already reached there in order to buy a condo. Okay, so let's look at OCR first lah. Okay, OCR, I think that this is just average, right? I mean estimated. So your estimated monthly household income should be about 21K. If you're looking at something that is about 1.83 million. Okay, because right now, if you want to build family and all that, you probably will go for a 3-bedder. So 3-bedder average prices is already about 1.7, 1.8.
That's in there. And that now it's getting increasingly hard to find anything under $2 million for 3 bedrooms in the OCR. Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. Of course, we have some projects coming up. There's under 2 million, but in the current existing stock, minimum 2 and above for a 3-bedroom.
Yeah, so that's why people can consider the EC route, right? If private condos are too much for them. So yeah, then we go into the RCR and it goes up, right? 30K. And then CCR, of course, right? Prime area. Your estimated household income is definitely quite high lah. Yeah. All right. So if you are interested to know how much mortgage you need to pay, we have a mortgage calculator on 99.co. Very simple. You just go up to our menu bar and then you go to home financing and you can select the mortgage calculator to know, exactly, like if you're already looking at a house right now that is maybe like 1.8 million, how much mortgage you need to pay. Okay. It takes very fast for you to, get a ballpark amount. So let's talk about payment schemes. This is what you need to prepare for if you want to upgrade, right? So for condos, yes, you call the PPS, the Progressive Payment Scheme, right? So you pay for the property as the construction milestones are met. Yeah, so you don't pay all at once. So this is one of the good things when you buy a new launch condos, not resale. This does not apply to resale, only for new launches. So you can slowly pay lah.
Slowly pay, and another thing is no maintenance fee, no property tax, just focus on your monthly installment for the progressive payment.
Yeah. And for EC, there's also the progressive payment scheme if you're buying a new EC. Down here, we are talking about new condos and new EC, yeah? So for new ECs, you have the PPS, yes, but you can also choose the deferred payment scheme. So how it works is that you pay a 20% down payment first. That's all you pay. And then the remaining 80%, right, you can pay only when the EC is ready. So the government allows you to okay, you pay 20% first, and then once you sell your house, then you pay the rest of the 80%.
Yeah. So some people will require what we call a bridging loan to bridge that amount. Yeah.
And the catch is that, you know, because it's quite a good flexibility, right? They allow you to pay it like 3 years later or something. So it will cost slightly more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So especially during COVID period, post-COVID period, there was a period when our interest rate was about 4%.
Yes.
So deferred payment makes a lot of sense because it's only 3% more expensive than the normal payment. Then your interest that you service on, of course, you're paying progressively, but if you even it out, actually not much difference.
Yeah. So you do have to check the market. Like right now, the interests are quite low.
Much lower, under 2% for 3 months SORA. So you plus the spread, maybe about 2.2, 2.3%.
So it's about there, about quite equal.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so as we also have the progressive payment calculator if you are considering a new launch. So you can kind of see, okay, if this new launch indicative price is about 1.8, then how much do I have to pay when, and like after 6 months, how much I need to pay, after 12 months, how much I need to pay, so you can prepare. All right. Okay, so ECs versus condo, what is the difference actually, right? There are some core differences, and you might, if you're not in this market, you might not be very aware that ECs are typically in OCR regions. So if you can see, OCR is in this purple color segment of the map. Okay, and it's usually like Woodlands, Sengkang, and now Tengah, the new.
So usually I would say not even in the central OCR, it's usually in the new OCR area. Like what you mentioned, Tengah, your Tampines North, we just launched Orel, you know, and of course now we are going to Jalan Loyang Besar, another area in the east.
And then Auto Place, right, launching soon.
Tengah. Correct.
I mean, we're like Tengah.
So usually in the growth area lah. So
in
the very new young areas.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, I think generally, like, if you're unfamiliar with the area, you'll feel like I don't really want to go there, buy a house, right? Like, why would I want to move into something I'm not familiar with? But then again, it also presents a good opportunity. For you to have that kind of first mover advantage.
Definitely. Because for example, if you move into this area, there will be usually a lot of new BTOs. So when they want to upgrade, they want to go to a private, they may not want to go for another new launch. They may say, I want to move in immediately. Then this EC, when they hit 5 years mark, you've got a ready pool of upgraders.
And for private condos, of course, they are spread island-wide, right? You have condos in OCR, you get condos in RCR and CCR. Okay, so, I mean, there are a lot of condos, so I would say that now the price gap also between OCR and RCR is kind of closing.
Everything is very close now.
And I think it's because of the MRT. There's so many lines.
So of course, decentralization is one of the things because all our industries are all over the island now. We don't just go to Raffles Place to work. No, we are filming this not in Raffles Place.
Correct. So decentralization is definitely one of the government's goals. It is in progress. They're still building more hubs and towns like in Jurong, even One North and things like that. So a lot of opportunities there, I would say. So in terms of facilities and quality, I would say that EC and condo, it really depends on what kind of condos you're looking at, right? But ECs have the very basic condo features, right? They have facilities, amenities for sure, and also they are mostly designed for owner-occupiers. Because the concept of EC is that the government wants to give families a chance to live a bit more comfortably with amenities, and all that.
So very few small units you'll find in an EC lah.
It's not so much for investors. So for private condo, you have like high-end condos, mid-market condos, and more mass market condos, right? So amenities, I would say it really ranges. How big the project is, you know, what is the developer's target market. So if they are targeting somewhere like, let's say, Linden Woods that just launched, right? It's in the business hub or
business district.
district, right? So they definitely have more like smaller units.
In fact, they started with very, very unique. Actually, the traditional thinking will be they only have 1, 2, 3 bedroom, but actually they started with 2 bedrooms. Very different kind of target. But anyway, 95% already gone.
But you see, 95% sold why? You know what I mean? What's the allure and stuff like that. So you have to go and study like why these projects are popular. Okay, so let's look at long-term potential and appreciation lah. So for EC privatization, there's always a jump, right? Like we see from the graph earlier. So once you reach 5 years, there's a post-MOP uplift for
Yep,
sure.
yep.
And then the privatization from year 11 onwards.
Yep, yep.
So if you are first owner, you definitely benefit from these two
Definitely.
gems.
Because you already went through the very hardship of getting very little loan. So the reward is the year 5 jump. Of course, how much it will jump, nobody can guarantee you. Pre-COVID last time was an average 200 to 300,000. Right now you've seen places like 100 Palms who are making close to even 900,000, $1 million post 5 years.
Okay, so before we continue, I just want to remind you all, if you have any questions, we'll be addressing them at the end of the webinar.
Yep.
So drop your questions in the Q&A box, not in the chat box, so that we can address them later.
Sure.
Okay, so condo rental potential. I think the key advantage of a private condo is definitely the immediacy and flexibility lah.
Yep.
Right? Because you have immediate rental income, you buy already, you can rent out immediately.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait.
Yep.
Yeah. So then, of course, the tenant pool is wider because you have all sorts of locations, right? And you can rent it out immediately also. So
Yeah. So you don't have to wait for any
you wait
MP
for
or
any
restrictions.
MP.
The moment you collect your keys, do out your lights, your curtains, rent it out.
So, okay, we covered this already, but this is we covered the sale price just now. So now we are looking at rental price.
Okay.
Yeah. So rental price between condo and EC. Okay. So as usual, condo is it's quite hard to compare because there's so many different types of condos, right? So it's definitely higher than EC. But you can see that the gap is actually not very, very big.
No.
Yeah. ECs, right? The growth of their rental prices over the past 15 years is about 51%, whereas the condos has only risen about 23% overall. Yeah, of course you can't really it's a bit like comparing apple to orange, but then you can kind of have an indication of if you were to buy an EC, you can be quite certain that your rental prices, you're not really losing out.
Yeah, because and if you buy a 5-year-old condo, you actually can rent out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you are curious about the rental yield, right? So let's say you want to buy a condo and EC and you're thinking, oh, maybe I want to rent out. You want to decouple. You want to buy 2 condos. Yeah, so you can also calculate your potential rental yield lah. So usually you put you use the total annual income. And then you divide by your property purchase price times 100%. So this is just a formula for you to play around with if you are thinking of decoupling. Okay, so over here, we talk about the condo resale capital gain, the median capital gain. Okay, so this was just in May. So if you can see that the capital gain for private condos itself, right, has pretty much dropping a little bit. Yeah, dropping a little bit.
Still maintaining in the 300 plus.
You can see there's some sort of a fluctuation, very slight fluctuation. Yeah, so this is for you to kind of understand that, okay, like if I were to buy a condo, you know what I mean? Is it like going to be a good investment? Will it appreciate? Yeah, I think you can be quite confident that it's kind of like there. It will never really drop very much. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Bryan's
Case studies.
Case studies, okay?
So generally, I work with a lot of HDB upgraders, and then every HDB upgrader, despite their age and despite their income, all have very different needs lah. So today I will share about 3 cases. The first case is a couple I worked with just last year, in their very late 20s. They have kids, and then their combined income is 15,000 per month, and they have one very key thing here is very high bonuses, because bonus don't count into EC's income ceiling. But if your commission is regular, then they will count. But if it's a bonus, because your company did well, because you are such a great employee, you get like 3-4 month bonus. This one goes into your loan calculation, but does not go into your income ceiling. So this client came to me, objective was very simple. Grow their wealth, enjoy better lifestyle, and preserving their assets. And because of 2 kids, even with 15K income, they can't really save every month, because almost every month take the paycheck, pay off their current installment, of course, most of it's CPF, and then their take-home pay, because of 2 kids, growing kids, a lot of expenses. So they tell me, Bryan, I don't have much cash. So the problem with them was a lack of cash down payment to upgrade, essentially. So that was essentially, I first asked many questions. How can you get more cash, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't. So very simple. What we did was, okay, their only kind of asset was the HDB at that point. So HDB, appreciated quite a bit because hit their 5-6 years mark already. And then the only solution I told them is if you want to buy anything, whether a resale or a new, you have to sell, you have to rent. You have no choice because you need that down payment. So what we did was very simple. After consulting, I gave them a lot of solutions. And they were very cooperative and they work very. We do work in tandem very well lah. So I didn't really kind of impose my will. It's more like I facilitate them in this whole transaction. So the transaction was it was smooth, but of course their logistics was not so smooth lah. Of course they have to sell because brand new EC need a down payment. They have to rent. No choice. They have to rent. So of course I told them
the scenario where we say you can wait until your EC is built.
Yeah.
Some people cannot, right?
Yeah, some people cannot. And of course I asked them, do you have any relative house, parents' house to stay? They don't have. So I told them, no choice now. You want to take this step, it's either you forever stay in this HDB, which is not wrong, but you may not get out of the cycle. So the only way for them to get out of the cycle is to move up, is to really sell. Of course, my concern was where do they stay? So sell it off, get the cash proceeds, rent, and then take the sales proceed and buy the EC, the brand new EC, new launch EC. And yeah, they were very happy because they bought deferred payment. So they don't have to, in fact, pay like installment and rent. They only pay rent until TOP, then they can move into the EC and then they start servicing their loan. So this might work for some of you who are watching in this stream. Yeah, you may not have a lot of liquid cash available, but as a result of that, may not be so comfortable lah. So I always tell people, you want to be comfortable. Sometimes you want to make money from property, cannot be too comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you have to sacrifice a bit lah.
Yeah,
right?
There's some form of sacrifice lah. Yeah. So in my case study number 2 was a couple. This is someone I did this year. Yeah, just this early part of this year. They have a preteen kid. Their mindset was always they have stayed in the HDB for 13 years already. So they bought in their early 30s, now in their mid 40s, and of course all along their mindset is condo out of reach, because the mindset was always, I cannot afford condo one because the number look very big. To people, 1 million, it looks very big. So my job was to actually break it down. Actually, you buy 1 million condo, you don't need $1 million, right? You just need to make sure that you have enough down payment, sufficient CPF to cover your monthly installment, and of course your maintenance fee and stuff like that. So after that, so for this case was a bit unique. So if you're thinking of quitting your job and buy property, you listen to this case study first. Because the main obstacle for this couple was their loan. Because so they got some weird advice, because before they met me, they went to some EC show flat. And because their income exceeds 16K, quite a lot lah, like 18, 19, 20K, that kind of range one. Hard to appeal. So someone suggested to them that you can quit your job and go and do business.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So what happened was that when I met them, oh no, you really quit your job and you want to do business, you need 24 months, 2 years NOA, Notice of Assessment from IRAS, before you can even take a loan. So they didn't know that lah. So when I met him, he was just about a couple of months into his new venture. He's doing well in the new venture, but
so he did that. He quit his job.
He quit his job. He very
he took the advice.
Very motivated. Quit his job, but cannot. So when I say, oh no, you only have like not even a 1 year's NOA. Yeah, you're doing very well, but sorry, we can only use that was the husband. We can only use the wife's income. Luckily, the wife was a very steady income employed. So wife alone could get 700K loan. So EC was kind of out because for them they really like EC, but then because only the wife can take loan, the wife loan for EC was about 400K. So means you want to buy the cheapest EC in today's market, 1.4 million. You need to come out $1 million cash, and then you need to come up with stamp duty and stuff like that. So not feasible in that manner. So we didn't even. I told them that maybe cannot look at EC already lah. If you really want to take this step, either you wait 2 years, and then 2 years also mean your age gets older ma. So as you get older, your loan tenure gets shorter, your repayments get higher. So I did not even consider the EC route for them when I met them. So we started shortlisting about 3 or 4 private condos before deciding on one. So it's a very comfortable margin because EC she can only loan about 400K, but for private she can loan up to 700-800K, which she has enough cash proceeds from the HDB to cover the remaining amount. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so important. You want to quit your job, you better consult someone first if you
Don't
because
make such drastic decisions.
because quit your job and knowing that of course he can make money from this new venture. So but the MAS or rather the banks don't think like that. The banks will need 2 years NOA, unfortunately. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think need to talk to a few people also.
Yeah.
That's important, right? Don't take just one advice. The first advice you get.
Yeah, talk to us. But of course, I don't think the person meant it bad lah. But
Yeah.
probably he just say you maybe have to change job or something. I don't know the full story. But when I met him, he really did not have established any connection with the previous consultant. And then when I met him, he said, "Oh no, you can't do it lah." So we structure a more friendly in a way a deal where so in the future when the husband income can get inducted, he can potentially in 3-4 years buy out the wife and he go and buy another condo through decoupling. So we have set that in place. But of course, if he wants to sell the current private, he can as well. Yeah.
So it's quite important to plan ahead also.
Yeah. So everything is not just about buy. Nice, I buy. Of course, that is one way because everything we do have to strategize very, very well because we can't just just do any step without consult because this property is likely for 95% of us the biggest assets we're gonna buy.
All right, last one.
Yeah, lastly, this one is in the 30s, very, very strong income.
Very strong.
Okay, very strong. 30 husband and wife, each of them are high flyers in their industry. Already have a fully paid HDB, own it for about 9 years. Their objective when they met me was clear, no? Was one, they just want to buy a comfortable home. For them, it's not thinking about real estate as a source of retirement because when you earn so much income, sometimes different people think differently. My income can sustain me. Probably he has other investment. I never asked about that. But since you're going to put so much money into real estate in any way, I give them a different perspective. Why don't use your home also as a tool to preserve your wealth? So when I met them, their HDB was almost sold already because they were just looking out for condominiums. So they found a 4-bedroom resale condo in the northeast area they really like. But one thing in northeast area in 2022, 2023, there were very low supply of 4 bedrooms. So a lot of the owners want sky high price. And they were almost willing to pay the sky high price until I showed them some facts that if you buy this property, you're probably going to pay 200-300K more than someone who just bought about half a year to 1 year ago. So they weren't very sure. So I gave them a couple of options. So eventually asked them, what can you sacrifice? Because 4-bedroom, they got 2 kids, a helper, husband and wife. So what can sacrifice, what cannot sacrifice? So we actually met about 4-5 times at least. Sometimes in the middle, 10-11 p.m. after the kids have slept. We went through so many permutations. So in the end, what can sacrifice was the size of the house. They don't need to buy a 4-bedroom. They can actually live with a large or rather a 3-bedroom that has certain attributes. So your 3-bedroom minimum need to have a utility room for the helper to sleep. So the 4-bedroom would set them back immediately. If they buy the 4-bedroom, that means that they can only buy one. Even though they have high income, all their monies from their sales proceed and their savings would have gone to the 4-bedroom, which is a bit overpriced. So in the end, we bought a 3-bedroom to stay. The 3-bedroom was 800,000, cheaper than the 4-bedroom. But they still stayed very comfortably. That's what I'm trying to say. They still stayed comfortably. Maybe not the luxurious 4-bedroom. You go out with an island kitchen, you host, parties. You may not be able to achieve that, but you still
could not be their lifestyle also, right? Yeah, they don't need that.
Yeah, but they think in their mind they want a 4-bedroom. So eventually what I did was instead of buying a slightly, I would say quite overpriced 4-bedroom, we bought a 3-bedroom resale to stay and a 3-bedroom investment in the new launch. So today, to be very honest, what happened, okay, as you can see in the graph, so 3-bedroom resale and 3-bedroom new launch is just less than 18 months only I served them. So the paper gain for the resale 200,000 increase, and then the new launch about 350K. And then just received TOP and I rented out their new launch for them. So the rental is covering about 85% of their installment for their new launch. So a lot of planning goes into here, and because of this, I mean, they really refer a lot because they don't just invest in their own investment. Property became their investment as well.
Yeah, actually that's a very good point, because you can actually don't think like one dimension, right?
Yeah.
You can actually like use one property to
Yeah.
fund the other
Correct.
possibly.
So sometimes I'm glad that this client wasn't so tunnel vision. I want a 4 bedroom. I don't mind paying any price. Then luckily they were open. So once they're open, they see their so of course, what if they have went for the 4 bedroom?
Yeah.
So turns out that the area, the 4 bedroom, only grew by about 100,000. Still grew, but about 100,000 because during that time the supply was very low. But right now there were slightly more supply in like that time we only have one listing in that particular development they are looking at. So the seller could call the shots lah. Yeah, but right now there are about 3 or 4 listings, a bit more, not still very scarce in terms of overall supply. But the prices were just transacting about 100K more than about 18 months ago.
Yeah, so I think sometimes people don't know what they don't know, right? So if they were to get like a consultant, somebody who can, hey, look at your present situation and suggest to you what is the best route you should take.
Yeah, because there's no one size fits all solution. Because what works for Felicia may not work for Bryan, and vice versa.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Bryan.
No worries.
Very insightful. Yeah, so if you're interested to look at, hey, what are the new launches out there right now that you can, potentially invest in also, because new launches are usually like opportunity for you to get some capital gains from ETOP and all that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you can look at the list of new launches on 99.co. And then, I mean, I mentioned just now, there are all these calculators that you can very quickly use on our website. So just feel free to click on any that you want to try. I think it's good to have some preparation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are interested, to get a free consultation with us, just click on this, scan the QR code, and also we'll send you the HDB seller checklist. So this is for you to kind of like facilitate your selling journey also. Okay, so if you need in-depth advice, so as mentioned, you just have to scan the QR code, and if you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box right now, and then we can address them right now.
Sure. Let's see. Wow, I'm interested to see how many questions.
Okay, so we have so let's go one by one.
Okay, this is all my opinion. May or may not be what everybody thinks also.
Okay, so with the Johor SEZ,
I think
RTS, okay, the RTS coming up. Many predict that workers
Special economic zone. Okay, I'm trying to understand also. Wow, very good. A lot of jargons.
Workers will start to go back to Johor, resulting in more supply than demand. Should we sell our HDB before then?
In my opinion,
interesting question.
different countries. So different countries, different jurisdiction, different like why people want to stay in Singapore. I talked to a lot of my foreigner turn PR or even foreigners because there are things that I'm not saying that other countries don't have. I'm just saying that what are the few things they look at in Singapore? One is safety, one is education. Some people may not want to travel back and forth. I mean, there will be a number of people who will do that. Probably Malaysians that may do that. But of course, with all this coming out, I still think that Singapore we will have our demand. It's still a border. In my opinion. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, what is your opinion on some recommendations to sell when your HDB has reached 50 years? The reason is because the price will slowly decline with the
My first question is what is your current stage of life last? Because if it's old flat and then if you are young, yes, if your objective is all about objective. So my first question is always not about your asset. What is your asset? It's about objective. If you are young, 30, 40s, and you want to grow your wealth, you should look at selling. You should look at creative way of marketing it to sell. Sometimes you may sell slightly below market, but you're going to put it into a better asset in the future. So I would say don't be too sticky on the price. For example, valuation, is 500K. Somebody offer you 460, 470. I'm not saying you must take immediately, but you can consider to take because the next one you're not gonna buy the wrong one again.
That's true. Okay, when there is an increased supply of MOP HDB flats, do we know if this impacts condo prices? Will condo prices also come down?
So, increase in supply of MOP,
HDB flats.
yeah, got it. So, once they hit 5 years and all. So I'll talk about condo prices. Why the prices still holds, because if you remember, there were a lot of condo lands that were bidded way below the reserve price, and then what the government did was they reject the bid. If you remember in Marina Bay, Marina Crescent, if I'm not wrong,
yes,
there was a bid that was so low,
$700 or something.
$700 PSF. I was telling my family, hey, this one I really go through can buy. But of course, in the end, government came out and say, sorry, the tender was too low, we will reject it. And there were a few other lands that will do so. So one thing is that you must know the government is actually protecting the private condominiums owners' interest, because if a land is too cheap, they cannot sell. They have a secret, I believe, a reserve price that they will be able to sell. Once it's below that, they won't sell. So there's cost. Developers are not charity. They are out there to make some profits out of it end of the day. So if they buy a certain price, there's always labor cost, construction cost, marketing cost, all your costs factor in, and then a profit margin. So if the base price is always going to be protected, so I don't think, in a sense, if a good parcel of land, we will see condo prices falling a lot. There may be dips here and there in Singapore, as you can see over the years, and I'll just leave it at that. I won't foresee Singapore property dropping 10, 20%. In my opinion, very hard, because we have all the policy in place, in check. See, last weekend, once Lindenwood launched at a good price, 95% sold. So a lot of Singaporeans or investors are very savvy. Yeah.
True. Okay, all the new launch condos are very small now, right? Example, 3-bedroom at 1,000 square feet or less. Will the older, larger sizes condos be profitable or more sought after in future?
So you got to see your taste and preference. So for example, older condo also means older facilities, and then
maintenance fee for
maintenance fee may be higher because you need greater upkeep. So generally, I mean, you may get the size, but you should always look at the transaction of a condominium. So to me, 1,000 square feet still livable. Of course, 700 3-bedroom cannot really live. So to me, I see that they are targeting different segments of people. Yeah, so 1,000 square feet, 900 square feet condos will still go. You still have the people who wants new, who prefers the latest, because old condo you have what? You have your squash court. Who plays squash? I mean, nowadays not many people play squash, So now the new condo can have pickleball court. Yeah, pickleball court. Of course, evergreen tennis court and all that. So it's a different kind of thing altogether. So people, when they move into a new condo, even though square feet is smaller, they are more efficient. So they build it more squarish, more efficient. Older may be big, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4. Sometimes it's a lot of weird corners, your bay windows, your planter box. So that may be 1,000, 2,000 on paper, but usable space, how much? So to me,
each of them got their own demographic.
Yeah, to each its own. But I think new Singaporeans, I don't know, we generally like new things. we skew towards new things. If the size is not too big a gap, I'm not saying like you 600 square feet 3-bedroom and 1,200 3-bedroom, that's different. But if your size is maybe 20-30% gap, you have a choice to go for the newer one, because you just want to enjoy newer things, I think. Yeah.
All right, next one. Between resale and new condo, any advice?
This one, a very broad question. Too broad already. So of course, end of the day, objective.
Yeah.
What's your objective? And then my framework that I use is always assess your stage of life. You're 20, you're 30, is very different from someone in the 50s and 60s. And of course, calculate what is in your hand, what is your finances, what is your war chest that you have. If you have 100,000 or you have $1 million, then of course that will be very different. Yeah. So this advice really very tough to give you one size fit all. We need to assess a lot of things: stage of life, finances, and then we can drill down into your objective. What do you really want out of it? Yeah.
You can drop us a message or email. Yeah, let us know if you need further advice from maybe your personal circumstance is
Yeah.
quite unique.
Yes, correct.
Okay, could you repeat the thing where you said transacted price minus loan divided by
Correct. So it's very simple. Today,
formula.
okay, assume your income is
Mm.
decent now, okay, of course, because you need to be able to get 75% loan. All right, because in our property transaction, we need to always pay 25% down payment. Maximum loan, let's say you buy a $2 million property, your maximum loan is 1.5 million. So assuming that your income is relatively strong. So let's say you have, so we work the other way, we work from the front. So your $2 million property,
Yeah.
your down payment is 500,000 plus the stamp duty. So stamp duty is about 5% minus 30,400. So 30% is generally what you need to have to buy a property. So today we reverse calculate. You have 500,000. How much can you afford is you take 500,000, you divide by 0.3. It's a shortcut. It's not perfect, but that will give you a very good ballpark of what
How much you need.
how much how much property worth you can actually
yes, how much property
you can buy. You can affordability.
Yes.
So it's just a shortcut, a hack.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can private property owner buy an EC?
New EC or old EC depends. Okay, of course, private property owner can buy a 5-year-old EC easily. So if you're a private property owner and you want to own a brand new EC, first you need to sell your private property, wait for 30 months from the completion date. Then assuming your income is still below 16,000, then you can apply for EC.
Okay, buy resale EC 6 to 10 years or over 10 years, still need to pay levy for previous?
No need, don't have to. 6 to 10 years, no need to pay.
Okay, Muvu K, if I'm already an existing HDB owner and plan to buy an EC, what will the chances of allocation be like as compared to first-time buyers of EC?
So, your first question is your HDB, do you take grant? Do you buy a BTO? Do you buy a resale with grant? So if you are a grant, you consider a second timer. Second timer don't have, okay, so the only thing is during the launch day of the EC, only 30% of the EC is allocated for second timers. Yeah. But let's say the EC is not sold out in 1 month. So let's say 1st of August was the launch of an EC. 1st of September, let's say it's not fully sold. Second timer are free to buy anything from the 1st of September onwards. I hope I answered your question.
Anonymous attendee. Okay, may I know if PR family can buy 5 years plus EC? Yes, right? Yeah. If yes, will MOP apply?
Can buy, no MOP. Very straightforward.
Jimmy Teo, can a single age 21-year-old single buyer be eligible to buy a resale EC?
Yes, you can buy as long as you're Singaporean or PR. Don't need to have a family nucleus. Resale EC 5 years old, you can buy.
Is ABSD applicable for decoupling of condo ownership?
Oh, that depends on your okay, firstly, I assume both of you are Singaporean, because if you are PR is different. So two Singaporean decoupling. So let's say
the wife sell to the husband.
The wife sell to the husband, the two Singaporean don't own any other property, just own this one condo. You just need to pay the half share. So the property valuation 2 million. Assume you own a joint tenancy, 1 million each. Husband buy from wife, only needs to pay the stamp duty based on the $1 million. Yeah. So with that, it's about 23%. So it's about 30,000 minus 5.4. So it's about 20 over 1,000. Yeah. No ABSD, but you need to pay your BSD if you're Singaporean.
How much is the decoupling cost?
You can check with your friendly lawyers. Can check with me as well. But generally, decoupling is about 6,000 plus minus.
For HDB upgraders, is it a must to go for EC or condo? Can we not consider BTO? Oh, interesting. Example, is it possible to sell a resale HDB and buy BTO and still earn?
Very good question, in fact. To me, I feel you buy BTO. Okay, so it ties back to the question objective. So we can only live so long, right? So if you buy a BTO, every BTO is 8 to 9 years or even 10 years if the build is long. So if you own a HDB now, you can of course buy a BTO but of course you still have to wait for the construction and then the MOP. Yeah, you will still make, but you still have to pay a levy because you first bought a subsidized flat . So you bought a 4-room flat, you pay a 40K subsidized fee, and then you still earn from the second one. So to me, it's about objective. Today, if you are in your, to me, I feel if you're in your 50s, late 40s to maybe 60s, yeah, this may work. I would say 50s lah. So if you're 50s, you want to buy another BTO, sure, go for it, because that's your one last bullet. But today you're young. You are 20, you just finished your MOP of your first house. Then if you do this again, because there is always a cap on HDB price. Generally, I won't say there is a cap, but because of all the restriction on MSR and all that, and then family nucleus, HDB prices won't grow as fast as a private condo in the normal market. Of course, in the last few years, it's an abnormal market because of COVID.
Hi, I'm a bit similar to your case study one. I have about 200K cash. My current HDB after selling and paying back the accrued interest, the net cash gain is expected to be 150K. If I want to buy a new EC around 1.5 million, how much roughly extra cash do I need to have? Because you got 150K.
So very simple. When you buy a EC maximum, I don't know your income and all that. So your maximum loan is 75%. Let's say you want to buy a $1.5 million EC, you need to prepare your 25% if you're buying a normal payment. Deferred payment, just pay 20% plus your stamp duty. So just always take back the formula. 25% of the purchase price plus your stamp duty. The rest is your loan can cover it.
20% of 1.5 million is
no, that means it's 375. Sorry, I may be wrong. We have calculator. So about 300 plus K plus stamp duty 400 plus 400.
So you need an extra 150K about.
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
400 plus K, you need 250K.
Yeah.
You need 250K cash or CPF. Yeah.
Okay, I'm planning to use HDB resale platform to do my self-marketing, where agents actively look for listings on the platform.
I transacted quite a bit of HDB last year. My team, my division as well, we have not done so. Personally, we don't do so. But maybe there are. I don't know. I cannot answer you because I don't.
It's still relatively new also.
Yeah,
so
relatively
probably
new.
need to gain some traction.
Yep.
Okay, can a single 35-year-old plus buy an EC?
Resale EC can, newly EC cannot.
Yeah. Okay, for EC loan.
Let's see the question, is it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
For EC loan, most of us can get 75% loan from the bank.
It depends on your income. So the bankers can, friendly bankers can always assess your income and your age and your other liabilities, and then not always 75%. Actually, so it really depends on these three factors: age, income, your other liabilities.
Will the prices of old freehold condos, that means they are more than 30 years old, near MRT, hold up or even go up higher? What about older freehold landed properties near MRT?
Wow, very wide
very
question.
Okay, so basically,
I'm not a predictor.
Generally asking about old private.
Old private condo, will it go up?
Condo or landed law?
It's all about, to me, it's all about demand.
Yeah, we have to see, right?
Yes,
Like
at a point.
Crystal ball.
Yeah. So of course your old condo, your old freehold condo may be a block of old small apartments or very, very big, large scale. So too wide a topic. If you I can't
due for en bloc, there's a lot of
en bloc could be
possibilities.
possible, but of course it has to go through a lot of 80% committee, and then of course developer want to buy the land. If the area has a lot of government land sale, for example, then en bloc might not happen because the replacement cost for en bloc is very high because you still need to tear down all that. Rather that government land sale is always a fresh piece. But of course government land sale always 99 years lah. Yeah.
Okay, KW Quack. If we bought a BTO without grant 10 years ago, currently staying in a resale HDB without grant for the past 5 years, are we considered first timer or second timer for EC?
If you have never taken any grant from HDB, first timer.
Very good. Is ABSD applicable for decoupling of condo ownership? Oh, this one's similar to just now.
Okay.
Sales to husband, PR. Wait. What's SC?
Wow. CD. What's SZ? I don't know. Okay, so
Singapore citizen.
Oh, wow. Okay, SC.
SC.
Okay.
Okay, the wife is a Singapore citizen, sells to the husband a PR. How much is the total cost?
So I just use 2 million as an example for the property, assuming own joint tenancy. So
It's not, ABS is not applicable, right?
ABS is not applicable, but it's a PR ma. So
Yeah.
PR, yes, applicable. So actually, let's say, so if you 1 million, 1 million each, husband want to buy over from the wife, yes, ABSD on the $1 million is applied. So your stamp duty is 3 plus 5% on the transaction of the stamp duty. But the ABSD is applied because you are PR by nature, which is 5% for first property.
YJ, for 40 years old HDB, will it still keep within market rate appreciation? When is good to upgrade?
So this one I will just explain to you the same thing, usage of loan and CPF ruling. 40-year-old means your remaining lease is 59. 99 minus 40 is 59. So your age plus your remaining lease cannot be less than 95. So 95 minus 59, that is 46, right?
40 what?
95 minus so 95 minus 59 is 46 lah. So your buyer, if they are younger than 46, they may not take up to the 100% of the valuation limit for the house for using the CPF. So as a result, people got, like I mentioned earlier, people got CPF but cannot use full CPF. So that may affect the resale price. That's just by the rulings itself. That's just by pure ruling. Number second is, of course, a flat that is 40 years will feel very different from a 5 to 10-year-old flat lah. Because generally people will go for older flats, firstly for location, second for size. But usually, I would say in today's market is affordability. Yeah, it's really because the new flat and the old flat, there's sizable gap within the same area and the district. So if you're getting buyers that has, I mean, I wouldn't discriminate or anything. That usually, because affordability matters, then you will get back this kind of buyers generally. Yeah. So to me, a price appreciation of a flat is not because I say or you say, but it's about the demand. Where is the demand coming from?
Yeah, definitely. Demand and supply is the most important. That's why if you ask us like, hey, you know what's going to happen next time? We won't know. Because it really depends on demand and supply.
So understand consumer behavior, understand how demand will be like in the future. So for example, now we have 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, very popular. But what if one, like the next generation, your next, our Gen Z and beyond, no, most of them don't want to have kids. Maybe the demand for big units may be different from today. So this is just my take lah. Like there's no evergreen demand, because when I started the industry 12, 13 years ago, when you go to a show flat, right, 5 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms are not sold one. Usually the 1, 2, 3 bedrooms are sold. Today, a bit opposite. Big units are sold as fast as the small units.
Interesting. Okay, Sam Tan, wife owns 99%, husband 1%. If the husband sells the 1% to the wife, does the wife need to repay the husband's CPF?
Yes, absolutely. 100% need to pay back.
Julie Chiu, we are retirees and are now looking for a new home. What would you recommend, HDB or resale condo? We have never owned any HDB. Are we eligible for grants if buying HDB resale? Currently renting a HDB.
We are retirees looking for a new home. If you have never taken a grant and you fall below the income ceiling, yes. If you have never taken a grant, if you're taking a grant or buy a BTO before, then you're not eligible for the grant.
Yeah.
So your recommendation, right? So really
HDB or
depends.
resale condo?
Yeah, really depends on for how much. I would say important is what is your funds lah. What do you have right now? So if you have a sizable war chest, let's say you got $5 million, then you want a bit of lifestyle, then you can go resale condo lah. But if your war chest is a bit different, it's lower, let's say 1 million or 2 million, then I would generally say go for HDB, because you want to make sure that you don't want to worry about
retire comfortably.
must retire comfortably lah. That's most important. So all boils down to what is in our hands lah.
Okay, we answered 2 more questions. When the EC is MOP'd after 5 years, how does decoupling work? When the wife sells her 1% to her husband, is it considered a transaction that will be displayed in past transaction records? Oh,
wait,
yeah. So
is it?
that means they don't really let go, man. I think it's the husband still retains the flat, right? After the ECMOP, the wife
ECMOP.
wants to sell her 1% stake.
So all along 99.1 lah. That means this one is all along is 99.1.
She's asking if it's considered a transaction if she sells her 1% to her husband.
I don't know the
It
objective
does,
of this question, but if it's a transaction, basically once you hit 5 years, there is no more MOP already. Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah, but how does decoupling work? She's wondering because that means she wants to take out her stake. But will her taking out the stake, the transaction be displayed in a transaction record?
Transaction record,
not that I know of.
Not that we know of. I cannot give you a 100% solid answer, but not that we know of.
Yeah, that means because you sold your stake to your husband, so your husband still owns it, right?
So now your husband owns 100%,
Yeah.
so you are free. So for you, it's very good now because you're free. Then you can go and buy another property with zero ABSD lah. That if
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, answer live. Wait, will condos in integrated developments that are more than 12 years old drop in value or keep a stable price?
Okay, also depends on to me it's all about demand and supply. So in 12 years old today, I can't tell you, you must go project specific lah, because everything depends on the demand in that specific area. So for example, 12 years old integrated development, I don't know of any, but like if you see Punggol Watertown, it's maybe 8-9 years old. The prices keep going up because there's so much transformation in Punggol itself. There is university there, there is digital district. The whole area is so vibrant. So there's only one integrated, for example, in Punggol. So you have many condos, only one integrated. But probably there are other areas that may not grow as fast as Punggol. I think even Watertown 12 years old, when it hit 12 years old, I think it will still keep its price because there's just too much transformation going on. So property price growth or not depends on so many factors. Of course, I would say demand, but demand is a big word. What constitutes demand?
I think future transformation is very important.
Transformation is definitely one of the things. 1 kilometer to primary school, things like amenities, things like almost amenities confirm have, because integrated means have amenities, have MRT, have bus sometimes have bus interchange, sometimes don't have. So we must always look at where can we predict the future demand. So Punggol has tons of transformation. And then Watertown itself, some of the units there, if you have seen, have very, very beautiful views. So the prices in Watertown, for example, has hit north of 4,000.
There are a lot of different factors. Like the beautiful views actually is one factor also.
It's too many factors. So integrated or not integrated can lose money, also can make money. So you got to pick specific projects. I can't just tell you, this all integrated development will make money. Then that's too blanket a statement. Okay?
Okay, yes, we are done with the question.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying. Okay, we have definitely overrun our webinar. So thanks for staying until this time with us.
Thank you so much. 119, 118 of you. So thankful for you.
120 of you. Thank you so much. So if you have any questions, you can still scan the QR code and drop your questions, and I will also relay them to Bryan, and Bryan can address these questions after the webinar as well.
Sure.
If you want to reach Bryan directly, you can also indicate so. And thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Bryan, for coming down.
No problem. Thank you, 99co, for inviting me.
I really appreciate your insights. And so join us for our next webinar. It's going to happen in 2 weeks. So just look out for any mailers or any promotions that you see on our social media or email. You can sign up. And hopefully we'll have Bryan with us again. If you guys enjoyed listening to him. So thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Bye-bye.